check, check. We got volume. All right. We live. We live. We live. We live and direct. We live, y'all. All right, cool, cool. My bad. Running a little behind. You know what I'm saying? As always, but that's all right. That's all right. We here, and that's all that matters. Um, all right, y'all. There we go. All right, bet. We live. Y'all know what it is. It's another fantastic Wednesday. Another episode of Whole, Healed, and Healthy. So welcome in. Apologize. Running a few minutes behind. About 5-10 minutes or so. You know what I'm saying? I'm always doing something right before I choose to go live, which is my mistake. I'm always trying to fix something, tweak something, trying to get something to look better or sound better when I should be doing all this stuff, like the day before or hours before. But anyway, man, I'm excited that y'all here with me. So if you on, hop in the comments and let me know you're here. Say I'm here, whatever you want to do. I'm just getting all this set up so we can have a successful show today. So yeah, man, give me a couple. Give me a couple. That's perfect right there. And give me just a second to pull up one more thing. And we're about to get started, man. I hope y'all Wednesday has been amazing. Hope your week has been amazing thus far. My week has been blessed. I'm just glad to be here with y'all as always. So I'm live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So trying out something new. So trying to connect with the Instagram audience, just trying to broaden our reach with what we do here. So if you're on Instagram, hopefully you stay to the end. If not, you can always catch the replay, man. But I'm excited to be here. So we're gonna give, like I said, just a few more minutes to let people hop on. As always, I know it's Wednesday. This is what we do every Wednesday, where we just come and we talk about real life. We talk about the Word. We talk about the Bible and how to apply that to our daily lives. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes, man, and see if anybody hops on. If not, I'm gonna just do what I do. And those who you can catch the replay as always, as always. So let's give it a couple minutes. Let the algorithm make it hot for us. That the algorithm can push this out as it does. And yeah, man, we gonna have a good time today. So like I said, if you see me looking off to the side, it's because I'm looking at notes, just trying to stay organized. I need to go ahead and get me like something that will allow me to keep my notes like right on the screen or something like that. Anyway, I don't know, but yeah. So like I said, if you're on, I appreciate you. Let me know that you're here. Just by saying I'm here. Share this, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I said, we're gonna wait a couple more minutes to let the algorithm push this out. Hopefully it pushes us out to the right people. And then if you're not here live, you can always catch the replay. So yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So welcome again, welcome back to another episode of Whole, Healed, and Healthy, where what we said, where faith meets real life and healing meets purpose. Trying to get professional, man. Get me a little intro. Just trying to get professional. Get me something nice. Last week I played some music that I produced, that I own the copyright to, that I produced. I own 33.3333333% of this record that I produced, and I got a copyright strike. So I got to figure out how to get that taken care of, because how you gonna copyright strike something that I made, something that I produced, something that I created? You're gonna give me a copyright strike for it, and I made it. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, welcome, man, to Whole, Healed, and Healthy again, where faith meets real life. I put this all in the bio, but I'm trying to get more professional, get me something that's polished, man, because I want to be polished. So, um, yo, where faith meets real life, right? So today, if you seen it, if you read it, today we're gonna be talking about baggage, man. Baggage, emotional, generational, spiritual, just any kind of baggage. What it looks like when God calls us to a higher place, but we're still holding on and hiding in old places. And yeah, man. So you know what it looks like when God calls us to another place. Yep, let me make sure I got all that. Yeah. Cool. I'm just checking, making sure everything is all good. Um, it's a live show. That's what we do. That's what we do. It's a live show. Yeah. So, boom, 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 boom. Slide this over because I can't see it. There we go. And put those right there. That's better. All right, cool. So we're talking about baggage. We're talking about baggage, right? We're talking about emotional baggage. I think it's something that we all carry, something that willingly, unwillingly, we all carry baggage at times in our lives. You know what I mean? So yeah, like we're talking about baggage. Yeah, I'm talking about you, but most importantly, I'm talking about me. This is something that hit me like a ton of bricks. Like man, like I still got work to do, and I'm okay with that because life and healing is a journey. It's not a one-stop shop. It's not just you show up and you're healed today. No, like you put the work in, and you can. It's a continual thing that you just go from place to place, from healing to healing, from space to space. And at every space, you realize, hey, there's a little bit more work that needs to be done. So at that next stop, we just continue to unpack, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing. It's a beautiful thing, that we're able to unpack the things in our lives, that unpack the traumas in our lives that have kept us stuck, right? So today we're talking about baggage. Today we're talking about emotional, generational, spiritual, any kind of baggage that you hold on to, relationship wise, like any kind of baggage that has been in your life. We're gonna talk about that now. I don't know what you're holding on to. I don't know what your baggage looks like. So that's something for you to unpack. But I just want to start the conversation. And then in starting the conversation, hopefully that we take this and we just continue to apply it and push forward in all the things that we have to do, right? So yeah, I'm going to mute that because it's playing in my glasses. So again, I don't know what your baggage looks like. I don't know what that is for you. And baggage, what I mean, it could be anything. It could be emotional, it could be spiritual, it could be things that you're holding on from past relationships, it could be things that you're holding on from the past. But we really would just want to, like I said, start the conversation. And hope that the conversation leads us just to continue some healthy habits that help us to become whole, healed, and healthy, because that's the goal. That's the point, is that we want to make sure that in every aspect, in every area of our lives, that we are whole, we are healed, and we are healthy. So in order to do that, we have to continually unpack things. And when we're unpacking things, hopefully that we're finding ways to cope and ways to deal with what may have been traumatizing to us. And we're finding healthy ways to heal from that trauma. We're not doing things that are causing damage. We're not doing things that are harmful to us or to anybody else around us, but we're doing things that are conducive to create a healthy environment in all of our lives, right? So that if I know that I'm healthy and my environment and my personal life is healthy, then now I'm able to um, you know, help to create healthy environments everywhere I go, from home, at work, in church, in any relationship that I may have, that I have tools that help me to create healthy environments. So, yeah, let's dive right in. Like I said, we're talking about baggage. So this came from I had to preach a few months ago. And this really is honestly just some of my sermon notes, and I thought that this will make a good conversation. So God had allowed me the opportunity to speak at a church. And I dealt with baggage. I dealt with things that have been holding us back, and I really feel like this will make some good conversation pieces. So there's a scripture. Let's go ahead and get started. So there's a scripture. I'm looking off to the side because I'm looking at my notes. So there's a scripture in 1 Samuel 10:24. And I should have pulled it up. But anyway, 1 Samuel 10:24, there is a scripture, and it deals with King Saul. When Saul was about to become king, he started to hide. He ran and hid. I'm gonna pull it up, and I'm just gonna read it. I want to read it. It's 1 Samuel 10 and 20. 1 Samuel 10, starting at verse number 20, going through verse number 24. And I want to read that because it's just so key. So this is what it says. When Samuel had all of Israel come forward by tribes from the tribe of Benjamin was taken by Lot. Then he brought forth the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and the Martes clan was taken. Finally, this is what we're going to get to. Finally, Saul, son of Kish, was taken. But when they looked for him, he was nowhere to be found. He was not found. So they inquired further of the Lord. They went to God and said, hey, man, where is Saul at? What's going on? And this is what God said. But when they looked for him, he was not to be found. So they inquired further of the Lord, has the man come here yet? And the Lord has said, yes, he has hidden himself among the supplies. There's another version in the King James that says he had hidden himself in the baggage. So they ran and brought him out as he stood among the people. He was a head taller, and there were others. Samuel said to the people, do you see this man? The Lord has chosen him. There is none like him among all the people. So that's when he was about to be anointed as king. So what happened? I think this was probably the greatest day of Saul's life. It's time for Saul to be elevated. It's time for Saul to step into his true calling, his true purpose. It's time for Saul that God was elevating him to another level in life, right? He was about to become anointed king. But at the time that he was supposed to be anointed king, Saul was hiding in the baggage. The Bible says, where there's one, like I said, there's one version, that's the NIV, but there's another version in the King James where it said that he was hiding in the baggage. And I read that, and as many times as I've read this story about King Saul and David and all that, I never read that part, or I never paid attention to it. I guess because it didn't apply to me. Like I didn't, it wasn't something that was on my radar. And as I was reading that, I'm like, why was Saul hiding in the baggage? Like, why was he hiding? What was he hiding from? And so I began to apply that to my own life. Like, there have been times in my life where I felt like it was time for me to elevate. I felt like it may have been times for me to walk into another level in life, another calling. God may have been giving me something that I was to do, and it was platforming me to another position in life. And when it was time for me to be found, I was nowhere to be found because I was still hiding in the last level. I was hiding in things that didn't expose things in my life, right? I was still hiding behind a mask per se, because that mask allowed me to stay hidden. And so as I was reading this, and I'm like, man, like this is great, because I think that this applies to a lot of us, because there are times in life where we are hiding in our baggage. We're hiding in our mess. We're hiding in things that mask, who we really are, or we're hiding in things that mask some things that may not be fully developed yet, or we're hiding in things that help to mask some of our deficiencies per se, right? I'm hiding in things that mask where I fall short. I'm hiding in things that cover up my shortcomings, right? Like I'm hiding in that. So for me, like I said, I talk about my church experience, and it's not all bad. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, it's all not bad. So, let's not get like my church experience bad, because I don't want people to feel like, church is a bad place, because church is definitely not a bad place. I love it. It's so many great things that have happened. But one thing that I know is that when you're talented, and we're all talented, we all have gifts, we all have talents, and this just isn't in church. So I want you to apply this in your life. It could be in your job, it could be in a relationship, it could be at home, it could be anything. But when you're talented, you tend to lean into the things that you do very well, because the things that you do very well, they usually hide the things that you don't do very well, right? They usually hide our shortcomings. So I am very talented. I can play the keyboard. I'm funny. Let's just talk about my personality. My personality is I'm very outgoing. I love to crack jokes. One thing about my personality is that I'm going to crack a joke, because I learned that if I can crack a joke real quick, it's going to hide the things that I'm insecure about. So like Saul, when it was time for me to be elevated, like him, I would go and hide behind things that I was strong in. So if I knew that my personality allowed me to crack a couple jokes and get you laughing, I felt like if I could keep you laughing, you weren't going to notice the things that I was insecure about. Man, That's real talk. Like, so if I could crack a joke, if I could laugh at you, if I could get you laughing at yourself, if I could get us laughing at something else, then now I knew that growing up, I was insecure about my beautiful brown chocolate skin because I was teased so much. But I knew that if I can crack a joke and if I can cause you to laugh, now you're not paying attention to the things that I see. We're looking at something else. So I'm going to continue to hide behind these things. But, it came a point in life where I had to accept who God created me to be, how God created me to be, what he created me to do, who he created me to be. So I had to accept all of this. And even the things that I didn't like, I had to accept them because in God's eyes, they were beautiful. But in mine, I didn't think so. So when you look at your own life, this is just, I'm talking about something on the surface. This is something as simple as my skin color. The color of my skin being teased. See my classmates, man, y'all was brutal. You know what I'm saying? We was some African booty scratchers back in 5th grade. If you grew up in the 90s, they called you African booty scratcher, boy. That was the worst thing they could call you. But so because of that, I began to have insecurities about my skin color because I was darker. I was black. They had all the jokes. Man, hey, we need a black crayon. Come right on here, Mel. Like, had all the jokes. So, but again, we're talking about hiding. So I would hide behind being funny. I would hide behind my gifts, my talents, right? But Saul knew something was coming. A lot of us know that God has something greater for our lives. A lot of us know that we should be doing something more than what we're doing, but what we tend to do is hide behind our insecurities. We'll hide. We'll go into the baggage. We'll hide. And God is like, no, I'm trying to call you out, because what happens is that when you step into another place or to another level, there's another light that's shined on your life, right? And so a lot of times when that light is shined on your life, it begins to expose some things that you don't want people to see. And it's not always bad things. I don't want us to feel like exposure is a bad thing, because it's not exposure. It's not a bad thing, because a lot of the things that we're hiding from and a lot of the things that we don't want people to see are really the things that God wants to highlight in our lives, because somebody needs what you have, right? Because somebody needs what you've been through. Somebody needs what you're hiding, because it's going to help to set them free. It's going to help them to say, hey, like, I'm dealing with that same thing. And so because I'm dealing with it, that I see that you're going through it, I see that you've been through it, I see that you've healed from it. Now it helps me to say, hey, I can heal from it. So exposure is not always a bad thing. Exposure is not always this thing that is gonna bring your darkest secrets to light. That's not the type of God that I serve, that he hides the things that we're ashamed of and he exposes, some of the things that we know would break us. Like, no, that's not the type of God that we serve. I feel like the things that God exposes in our lives on a public platform or in a public space is because somebody needs it. Right? Somebody needs that thing that you're afraid to expose. Somebody needs to know how to be able to heal from I don't know, whatever it is. Like, somebody needs to know, like, how you're able to heal from the shame of, for me, it was premarital sex. That's something that I definitely struggle with a lot in my life, and I was shameful because I just felt so much shame in it. And so I knew that once I stepped into another level in God, that I was gonna not only was it gonna be exposed, but I was gonna have to deal with that myself. And so as I began to deal with it, God just began to give me the tools that will help me. Hey, like, first of all, God is not sitting on that throne ready to strike us down every time we make a mistake. And I want us to understand that. Like, no, God's grace, it covers us. God covers us. And God will connect us with people that will help to restore us. But we can't be so ashamed and so scared to move forward in life because we're afraid of things that we've dealt with, and we're afraid of how people gonna look at us. Man, look at me. Laugh all you want to, let people look, but just know that a lot of times that the people who are looking and laughing are the same people who are low-key being set free by what you're exposing, by what you're sharing, by how you're moving. I know as people probably like, man, this guy on here every Wednesday talking about the same thing over and over and over. But the same people who are saying that are definitely the same people who need what you have, right? And so we got to understand that. So fear We're talking about Saul. We're talking about Saul hiding. Saul was about to be elevated to king. And I want you to maybe take a look in your life and realize what in your life is God calling you to do that requires another level. And again, it's not just church things. It's not just church. You could be about to be promoted at your job. Right? You could be about to be promoted in a business. You could be going from a boyfriend to a husband, or from a girlfriend to a wife, or you could be about to be promoted from being, not having children to being a mother or a father. So there's so many areas in life that are promotion. I remember my brother. When he said, "Yeah, you just been promoted because now you're a great uncle." I'm like, dude, that's crazy, right? Like, my nephew had a baby, and he was like, "Hey, man, like, y'all been promoted in life. You went from uncle to great uncle." So promotion is not just spiritual. Promotion is not just at work. In families, we get promoted to different levels. So think about that. So now there's another level of responsibility that's on your life. But what happens is that because we allow fear, insecurities, internal battles, things like that, we tend to run away from more responsibility. Why is that? Because we are afraid that we're not equipped to handle it. So again, I want to pose the question, what are you hiding from? What baggage are you carrying into this season that requires freedom, right? What baggage are you still carrying into this next season that you have to unpack or let go of, that's going to require you to walk into true freedom? So we're talking about baggage, right? We're about to travel. This weekend, we're going to New York. And anytime I travel, I always find myself having to clean out the suitcase from my last trip. And it's the same, like, I'm always having to clean out the suitcase from my last trip. I'm always having to clean out the suitcase from my last trip, right? So what does that mean? Like, every time we go out of town or we go and we travel, I'm not the type of person who, as soon as I get home, that I unpack my suitcase. I just take it and I throw it, and I unpack it, day by day, week by week. I get the things that I need. So now that we're about to travel, I'm grabbing my suitcase and I'm realizing, like, dog, like, I can't take this stuff where I'm going. Y'all follow me? I can't take the stuff that's in my suitcase now on this next trip, because this next trip is a totally different place. It's a totally different environment. So our last trip, I think we went to New Orleans, and it was warm. We're wearing shorts. We got, the light clothing. It's hot. Now this weekend we're going to New York, and I'm looking at my suitcase like, I can't take shorts to New York because it's freezing in New York. And so I have to unpack this suitcase. I have to take everything that's out of it, because what's in this suitcase from last trip will not sustain me on this next trip. These short pants and these short sleeve shirts and these sandals will not sustain me in New York, where it's 30 and 45 degrees. So now I have to grab some new clothing. I got to get some hoodies. I got to get some sweatpants. I got to get some long sleeve shirts. So if you take that and you apply that in this next season of your life where you're going, what in your suitcase is holding you back from going further? Because for some of us, you can't keep what you have, right? You have to unpack your suitcase. You have to unpack what you have, and you have to say, you know what? This is not conducive for my next season. This is not conducive for my next level. This is not conducive for my next job. This is not conducive for my next relationship. Come on. This is not conducive for the place where I'm trying to get to. If I'm trying to elevate, and I know that the place that I'm going requires me to maybe study more, to maybe pray more, now I have to set new habits, and meaning that, hey, I can't scroll on Instagram the way that I used to. You know what I mean? I can't spend as much time on social media, because this new level requires more of a commitment. It requires me to study more. It maybe require me to pray more. Come on, your new job may require you to prepare. So you got to prepare slides and presentations. Your new business may require you to put in more hours. So that means that you may have to go to bed a little bit earlier so that you can have more energy. Come on, so that that you can be more focused on what you have to handle. So I want us to understand that I don't want us to be like Saul, that when God says, hey, I'm trying to give you what you prayed for, but because you're not prepared for it, we go hiding in the baggage. You know, we pray for these things. God, give me more. God, give me more money. God, give me this. Give me that. God, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. God, open doors. I remember God gave me a prophetic word where it said that he was about to open doors for me that I was going to be able to walk through, right? And so I'm so excited about these doors that are being opened. But then when the doors open, are you prepared to walk through them? Or are you still on your last level? Come on, are you prepared to walk through the doors that you prayed for God to open, or are you still on your last level? Are you still at a place where you're still on vacation, where you've been in Mexico and you got on beach clothes and a bathing suit when God is like, hey, I'm about to take you to a higher level. So now you need to put on some pants and a hoodie because where you're going, it's going to get a little bit colder, right? I want us to think about that, because Saul was about to enter into what I think should have been the greatest season of his life. But because he had all these insecurities, because he had all this fear, because he was so insecure of who he was, he ran and he hid in the baggage. He ran and hid in the things that God is trying to deliver him from. He's hiding in what God wants to deliver him from. Some of us are hiding in things that God wants to set us free from. Yeah, it was me. I'm hiding in a place where God is trying to bring me to true and real freedom. But because I'm so insecure, and sometimes it may not be insecurities. Sometimes we just get comfortable, right? Sometimes we're comfortable where we're at. And so we stay there because we don't want to go to another place, because the next place requires us to do things that we don't want to do. It requires us to move in a way that we don't want to move. It requires us. Who we got? We got Bree. What's up, Bree? I got my sister on here. My boy Macbeth. What's up? What's up, McBeezy? Man, glad to see you on. So sometimes we have to move to a place, and when we move to that place, it makes us uncomfortable. And God is like, God is like, I just want more from you. I want more from you. The things that you've been praying for, the doors that you want to be open. God is like, I'm opening these doors, but because I'm still dealing with my last level, I cannot function at my highest on this next level, because I'm still stuck on this last level. So we got to unpack our bags. We have to unpack things, and that's how I look at it. Like every trip I take, I have to unpack my suitcase. I have to see, because there are things that are going to be staples on every trip we go on. I need a toothbrush, right? I need soap. Come on, I need drawers. I hope they clean. I need drawers. I need socks, right? There are essentials that at every level you go to, you are going to carry things with you. So there are certain things that when I go to pack my suitcase, it's just a no-brainer. They're always in it. And I think that we should think that way in life too, that there are levels that every time you elevate, or every time you go to a new place or a new position, there are staples and foundational things in your life that you always take with you. The foundations of my life, love. No matter where I go in life, no matter what level I'm in, no matter what relationship I find myself, no matter what job I find myself in, no matter what church I may attend, there are certain things that are always going to be foundational in my life. One of those things is love. It's like a toothbrush. I walk with love every day. Come on, I don't want to be stinking. I don't want my breath to stink, so I brush my teeth every day. I walk in love every day because I don't want to be nasty. I don't want to be angry. So I put on love every day. Come on, I put on peace every day. I put on compassion every day. I put on sympathy and empathy every day. These are things that I carry with me because on every level, they're the foundation of that. It's just like you're taking a trip. The foundation of your trip, you're going to have your toothbrush, you're going to have your drawers, you're going to have your socks, you're going to have your deodorant. Come on, you're going to have these things, your mouthwash, you're going to have your lotion. Come on, these are certain things that you take with you. And so if we apply that into a way, it doesn't, and again, it's not just about spiritual and it's not about church. Come on, but it's about every day. You don't have to be a Christian or attend church to walk in love. We should just put on love every day. I don't have to be a Christian to walk in love. Like, love is a staple of my life. Love is something that I do no matter what. Love is something that's in me because I love God. I love people. So I'm going to love. Come on. Peace is something that I put on every day, that I'm not going to let nobody come and take my peace anymore. Joy. Come on. These are things that I put on every day because they are foundational. But when it's time for me to go to another level, I realize that, hey, I can't act. My spending habits from last level will not sustain me in this next level, right? My spending habits from level 2 will not sustain me on level 4. Come on, my sleep habits on level 2 will not sustain me on level 5. So, talking about when I became a father, when Avery started school, I realized that I got to go to sleep because I have to get up early, because I have to make sure that I'm able to have enough sleep that I can get up and get her ready. The sleep wasn't necessarily for me. The sleep was that I could wake up and be able to function so that I'm able to get my child out the door at school so she can be the best Avery that she can be. See, sometimes the things that we realize as we go to these other levels, or we take on new roles in our lives and things like that, sometimes the new things that we do aren't necessarily for us, but they're to help other people. So I understood that if I don't get X amount of hours of sleep, when I wake up, I'm going to be cranky, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be upset. And if you deal with the 6-year-old, come on, you're dealing with the first grader, y'all know you have to be like, it's easy to just snap. And I find myself, you know what? Let me chill, because I'm not about to go off on her. I'm not about to snap on something on her that has nothing to do with her because I'm tired. And now she's having a bad day because daddy was sad or daddy was angry at her, and she doesn't realize it had nothing to do with her. So what am I saying? That as we elevate, we have to unpack our baggage. Come on, we got to unpack it. Like if you kept everything in your suitcase and then you just put more and more in there for this next trip, what's going to happen? You're going to get to that airport and your suitcase is going to be overweight. Come on. 50 pounds. It's going to be over 50 pounds. I'm not going to say which one of us in my family always has to weigh their suitcase. I'm always under 50 pounds because I know. But if I keep everything in my suitcase, when I get to that airport, it's going to be over 50 pounds. What does that mean? I can't go through the gate, or I can't proceed until I figure out what I can take out of my suitcase that's gonna allow my suitcase to be the proper weight so that I can move on to through TSA and start to board my flight. So what am I saying? Some of our suitcases are so bogged down with so much of old seasons that the reason why we can't move forward is because we're too heavy. We're too heavy. Come on, we're too heavy. There are things in our lives that we just refuse to let go of. And some of it is being comfortable. Some of it is we're afraid. Man, it took me a while to understand that, listen, I did not know what my healed self looked like because I've never been fully healed. And I was afraid of that because I didn't know what my healed self looked like because I'd never been fully healed. So as I continue to move forward in this healing journey, come on, there are levels in my life where I am afraid because I don't know what it looks like because I'm so used to functioning at a level that's dysfunction. I'm so used to functioning in dysfunction that I think that it's normal. I think that my dysfunction is normal. Come on, man, let's just be real and keep it 100. We think that being stressed all the time is normal. We think that being angry all the time is normal. What's up, broski? What's up, Rob, man? Good to see you on here, man. Good to see you. So we think that being stressed all the time is normal. We think that being angry all the time is normal. Come on, we have to learn that it's okay. First of all, and I say it all the time, it's okay to not be okay. But in your not being okay, make sure you're addressing the reasons you're not okay. Right? So whatever that looks like. Again, I was in therapy for a good 9 months addressing not being okay. Learning how to cope, learning how to deal with trauma, learning how to manage my anxiety. I functioned so much in anxiety, I thought that it was normal to be anxious every day. Like, does that make sense? Like we're so used to dysfunction. We're so used to our bags being heavy and carrying baggage all the time that is our norm. And that should not be the norm. Come on, the Bible says the peace that passes all your understanding, let it guard your heart, your mind, and your soul through Christ Jesus. So if I consider myself a follower of Christ and I have Christ in me, then anxiety is not normal, because the Bible says be anxious for nothing, right? That's what the word says. Jesus said, come on unto me, all you are heavy. Lay your burdens down and I will give you peace. So if I'm going to practice the way and the walk of Jesus, come on, I have to unpack my bag and realize that I don't have to carry anxiety everywhere I go. I don't have to carry fear everywhere I go. I don't have to carry bondage everywhere I go, because that is not normal. Right? There is healthy anxiety. There is healthy stress. There is healthy fear. But if I live in a constant state of fear, or if I live in a constant state of anxiety, come on, it's okay to be angry. The Bible says be angry and sin not. So I'm not trying to bypass our emotions. But what I want us to understand is that if I carry and I'm living through my emotions, if I'm living through my anger, if I'm living through my fear, if I'm living through my anxiety, that is not a healthy space, and I need to unpack that. I need to unpack my bags and understand why, because I can't take this anger into my next season. I cannot take this fear, and I'm talking about a state of fear and anxiety go hand in hand. I shared some of my testimony, how I was so afraid to go to sleep because I had so much anxiety that I felt if I went to sleep, I would not wake up. So I slept in the bed with my daughter because I wanted to make sure that if I died tonight, that she knew that daddy held her and loved her. Like what kind, and then now I'm thinking in my mind, like that would have been crazy for her to wake up next to me, and how much trauma that would have put on her life. So what am I saying? Like I had so much anxiety. I had so much fear that I was afraid for a good 6 months. That is not healthy. So I had to unpack that in therapy, and I had to understand, why do I have fear? Why do I have anxiety? Where is this coming from? Because I understood that this next level in my life, and I'm not talking about spiritual, and I'm not talking about becoming a pastor or a prophet or anything like that. I'm just talking about this next level of health, this next level of wealth, this next level of being healed, of being whole and being healthy. I could not function as a functioning anxiety, I cannot function in anxiety. I cannot function always looking over my shoulder, wondering when people gonna call me to apologize, wondering what people thinking about me, wondering if people talking about me. Come on, that was the type of anxiety I lived with. Come on, wondering if people were dogging me out. So I lived with that anxiety for a very long time. It wasn't until I was in therapy when I realized I gotta unpack that. So God sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time, when God begins to shift us, come on, he wants us to unpack things that may weigh us down. So if we're talking about unpacking our bags, and again, I'm talking about we're about to take this flight, right? And so going through the airport, I put my bag on the scale, and in the airport in life, if I want to go to the next level, I put my bag on the scale and the bag is overweight. Now I have to go back and say, what in here don't I need? What in here don't I need? What in this bag? Come on. What in here don't I need? I know I'm gonna need lotion. I know I'm gonna need I know underwear and toothpaste and socks and my essentials, the foundations of traveling, or the foundations, your core beliefs. That's what we're gonna call them. You need your core beliefs, right? You keep your core beliefs, but now it was okay for me to be angry for a season, right? But now that I'm coming out of anger and I'm learning to love, I gotta let the anger go. Come on, the fear, I gotta let the fear go. The trauma, the shame, the guilt. Man, come on, let's talk about it. The rejection. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's keep it 100. What happens? Shame keeps us stuck because we're ashamed of things. But there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. If the Son has set you free, you shall be free indeed. deed, right? So now if I know that I'm free, my shame can no longer keep me bound. But what tends to happen that we don't know how to unpack our shame because we're just so afraid that people are gonna judge us. Man, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. It's okay. I'm talking about me. I'm so afraid that people may judge me, that people may look down on me, that I stay in my shame. Right? I stay in that. Come on, I stay in that. So I'm saying, don't show up to your elevation ceremony and your bag is too heavy. Don't show up to your next flight and you can't even board the plane because your bag is too heavy. What am I saying? Don't show up to the doors that you've prayed for and you can't walk through them because you're still holding on to what was in the past. Again, I don't want us to bypass what we've gone through. I don't want us to bypass things that we may be facing. But what I want us to understand is that there are times when I am ready to move forward, and I know that I can move forward. I know that I know that I've dealt with the unforgiveness in my heart. I know that I've dealt with the bitterness in my heart. I know that I've dealt with the anger in my heart. And so I'm ready to move forward. And I'm going to just talk about doing this every Wednesday. I knew that I was ready to move forward, but I was scared. I was scared of fear. I had fear. I wasn't scared of fear. I was scared. The fear made me afraid, right? What did it make me afraid of? I was afraid that once I got on here and started talking, that people were going to start talking about me. And I'm like, I don't want nobody to talk about me. But I knew that it was time for me to shift to another place in life. It was time for me to shift to another level in life. So I understood that, hey, I got to let go of what I think people think about me. I got to let go of that. So as I begin to let that thing go, I was able to move forward and say, hey, I'm just going to hit record. I'm just going to go live and see what happens. I'm just going to get on here and share and see what happens. And then what began to happen is that I begin to get more and more comfortable that I'm saying, hey, like I can do this because I realize that I'm adding value, right? I told y'all I don't want to be on here just talking and it's not adding value. So if I'm not adding value, I'm going to stop because I'll talk to myself and I'll be okay. But I realize that, hey, I'm adding value because there are a lot of people like me who may not have gone through what I've gone through, but are in a similar space where I may be afraid to move forward. Hey, you never tardy. Just you here. That's all that matters. That I may be afraid to move. I have gone through what I've been through. May not be exactly, but in a similar space where I'm just trying to relearn things. I'm trying to make understanding of this thing called life. I'm trying to figure out and understand this thing that I want to be a part of called Christianity. I want to be a follower of Christ, and there are things that I don't understand about why things have happened, and they've caused me to be stuck, afraid, fearful, whatever. So we got to unpack those things. So like I said, don't show up to your next level in life. Don't show up to an open door that you've prayed for and you can't walk through it because you haven't dealt with that anger, because you haven't dealt with your bitterness, because you haven't dealt with whatever it may be, right? So Saul was about to be elevated to king, to the highest position in the land. And when it was time for him to be anointed king, he was hiding in the baggage. And we're talking about unpacking our bags. When it's time for me to hop on that flight, if my bag is overweight, I cannot pass through. They're going to say, sir, something's in your bag that's too heavy. And the person that I fly with always want to put their stuff in my bag. Don't let nobody put their stuff in your bag to make your bag heavier. Don't let nobody throw their traumas and their fears and their anxiety. Don't let anybody project what they're going through onto you to make you feel some type of way. Don't let nobody do it. Randy gonna throw her stuff. I love it. So it's all good. She gonna put her stuff in my bag. That's fine. That's comical. But in real life, come on. Don't allow people to project what they're going through onto you so it causes you to stay stuck. Don't let nobody project on you. Don't let nobody gaslight you. Don't do it. Don't allow people to project their fears, their traumas, their insecurities, come on, their hurt, their mistrust, their betrayal, their guilt, their shame on you because you're free and you're moving forward, but they're stuck. Like every time we get to that, man, and Randy gonna kill me when she watches this. You know what I'm saying? She at work right now, so I can talk. I can say what I want to say because she at work. You also can't pick up anything new wherever you, man, bro, dog, you absolutely right. I love to travel. So I'm just telling myself, you know what I'm saying, judging mamas. But when we go overseas, or like if we go like out of town, like out the country, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm gonna bring me back a little bottle. Judge your mama, you know what I'm saying? I might bring me back a little bottle or something, you know what I'm saying? Judge your mamas. And but Cause Macbeth, I call him Macbeth because that's we used to work together. So I'm used to call him Macbeth. So hey, bro, forgive me if it ain't Macbeth no more. It's just stuck in my mind. But he's saying that you can't pick up nothing new wherever you're going. So I like to bring back souvenirs. I like to pick me up a little bottle of wherever I'm at. You feel me? So if my bag is already too heavy when I go to where I'm going, I can't bring back anything new. I got you. Oh, definitely. I got you. But I can't bring back anything new. So we went to where did we go? We went to, was it Punta Cana? I think it was Punta Cana. Dominican Republic. Yeah, Dominican Republic. And they have what they call Mama Juana. Not marijuana, Mama Juana. And it's like the drink of like the drink of the sea. Like I said, I'm just hey man, judge your mamas. You know what I'm saying? If you got a problem with a little sippy sip, you know, to take that up between you and the Lord. I've already taken it up with my God, and we good over here. So it was Mama Juana. Anyway, they like, hey, y'all take this, and it's supposed to be like the, you know, it's the one in the Caribbean. And I wanted to bring some back, and back to the point that Macbeth said that if your bag is too, what's up, Erica? How are you? I'm so glad you're back. You know what I mean? It's so good to see you. I'm so happy that you are here, and I need a crossbody. If y'all need, listen, I'm always plugging. If you need a bag, y'all need to go follow Erica Ray, because she got the real deal. This ain't no Fucci. She got the real Gucci, and not the Louis Vuitton. She got the real Louis Vuitton, and it's authentic, and she sells amazing products. So if you're in the market for a handbag, holler at my girl Erica. That's our friend. Met her through Randy. That's one of Randy's friends, and now she's my friend too. So holler at Erica. But listen, yes, Jesus turned water into wine. Where am I going? I be getting sidetracked, man. Y'all know. Help me stay on point. So the point is that if my bag is too heavy going, I can't bring anything back with me. I like souvenirs. I like the islands. I like what they have to offer. So I always want to bring something back, right? I always want to bring something back. Yeah, y'all go ahead and connect, because what I'm telling you, it's legit. She's 100% legit. So y'all go ahead and make that connection. And Erica, I need 10% of whatever my cousin Janae buy. All right, cool. But listen, so my point is this. If my bag is already too heavy, I can't pick up any new skills. I can't make new habits. So if your bag is too heavy going to your next season, you can't pick up anything new. You can't create new habits. The goal of this is to create healthy habits. But if I'm always eating McDonald's, I'll never be able to create healthy habits. That's the point of that, right? Let's move on, because we got to go. We got to go. I feel like I'm at church. We got to go. Erica came in here and called me Bishop. Yeah, I done got elevated to Bishop. But listen, we got to go. So I want us to understand this. If you don't deal with it, it's going to deal with you. Man, woo, that's something else that I had to realize. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about, you know, how I don't necessarily subscribe to, again, the notion that we are still generationally cursed, because when Jesus came and he rose again, he died and rose, that he took the curse and he became a curse for us. So I believe that the moment I gave my life to Christ, that every curse that could have been, that was, and will be on my life has already been broken, right? But I understand this. I believe in generational cycles, right? So I believe that there are cycles that we create generationally that can hinder us. Okay, so just clearing that up, making, you know, just hoping y'all walking with me. But I understand this, that if I don't deal with certain things in my life, that they may creep up either in my life or at some point in my family's life, right? If I talk about money, spending habits, because I'm really trying. I don't want to leave this earth and leave Avery with all my debt. If God forbid something were to happen to me and Avery and Randy are left here, I don't want to leave them with my debt. I want them to be able to be debt free. I want them to go ahead and ship me off to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to have no big funeral, but just ship me off to the Lord, for a $3 funeral and take that money and go live. But I don't want them to be having to be scraped to pay off all my debts. So that is a generational cycle that I am determined to break. That Avery won't have none of my debts. That when Avery turns 18, I pray that I'm able to put her in a position to where if you choose to go to college, it's already paid for. If you want to be a entrepreneur, here's $100,000 to start your business, right? I'm trying to create generational wealth, and I understand in order to do that, I have to create healthy habits, right? But if I still have debt in my bag, come on, man. If I haven't unpacked the habit of debt and buying things and just spending above my means, when it comes time for her to have something or for me to leave this earth, all she has is debt I occurred, and now I set her back. That is a generational cycle that we have to break. But in order to break it, we have to unpack our bags. So if I unpack my bag of terrible spending habits, now I'm able to create a new habit of saving money. Come on, of being more frugal. Come on, because I talked about my dad, that this man, I ain't never seen this man go out and just cash out, but he had it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I didn't pick up that habit. I prayed, Lord, give it to me. But he created healthy habits. So I watched him. Now I chose to do things differently, but now I'm choosing to do something else that I can too be like him. Come on, and have my house paid for, have my vehicles paid for, be straight, be set up, set my family up, so that now when Avery turns 18, 19, 20, when she gets married, if she wants to have a house, she can have the house I paid for, that me and Randy paid for. Come on, listen, I hope that we understand that in order to create better habits, we have to unpack our bags. We have to unpack our bags. We got to unpack them. Again, it's okay, and I'm going to continue to reiterate this point. It is okay to not be okay, but in your not being okay, work on why you're not okay, right? Don't just not be okay and just forever not be okay. Like, nah, like in 2020, and I dealt with depression heavily, and I didn't wear it. You probably really, if you knew me, I think Randy's probably about the only, she could tell like something was really off with me. She knew, like she knew that something was really off because of all the things that had happened in 2020. It affected me, and there were personal things in my life as well that I was going through. But then just seeing the 2020, the George Floyds and all that, and just how we watched that on national TV. I don't want to go into that. I'm just kind of sharing. Told you I'd like to share my life. I like to share what I've been through. But I began to deal with depression, and I began to pick up unhealthy habits. I began to pick up things that were not like me, that were not becoming, things that were pushing me backwards, right? And it wasn't until I began therapy when I began to unpack my depression. I began to unpack why I was depressed. I began to unpack why I was doing the things that I was doing. And so because I was able to unpack my bag, and I'm still unpacking my bag. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, don't think that I get on here, or we get on here, we talk about things like we got it. No, we ain't got it all together. I'm still unpacking my bag every single day. Like, it's always something that comes up in my life where I realize that, man, I can be better in that area. And it's a journey. It's a walk. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It is something and it's lovely. It's beautiful. Embrace it, right? Embrace it. So I'm saying all that to say is that if I had never unpacked my depression, I would have never found new joy in things that are just so simple. In the simple pleasantries of life, I'm finding joy. But it wasn't until I began to unpack that depression. It wasn't until I began to unpack my bitterness, that I could find new joy. That it wasn't until I was unable to unpack my anger, right? I was angry from 2020 from 2020 up until like 2022, 2023. Like, I had a lot of anger in my life, especially 2022 through 2024. I was very angry. You would never know it. Because again, like Saul, I was able to hide it. I was able to wear my mask. I was able to put on a smile. I was able to show up. I was able to do all the things that I was comfortable in. But I had anger. I had bitterness in my heart. I had so much unforgiveness, man. I'm telling you. Like you would never know unless you know me and unless you were in our circle and we shared things with you. But I had so much unforgiveness in my heart. I ain't afraid to say it. Like, I ain't ashamed to say it. Like, I was like the poster child of unforgiveness. Like, you would say certain things or certain names, and dog, it was like it's on site. It's on site. Like, if I see it, it's on site. And I had to unpack that because I knew that unforgiveness was creeping into my personal relationships. I knew that I had so much unforgiveness in my heart, I had no room to create new habits, or I had no room to receive new love. Listen to this, I had no room to receive new friendships. I had no room to receive new friendships because I was so hurt by what happened, right? I was so hurt. So I had no room in my life. And I said, I don't want no new friends. No new friends. I'm straight. I'm cool. But Drake say no new friends. Y'all listen to Drake? I still listen to Drake. You know, he lost the battle, but he still makes some hits. But with Drake, you say no new friends. A thing in my bag, I had no room for new friends because I didn't want to be hurt like I was before, right? So I just put up a wall. I got all this unforgiveness, and yet no new friends. that was our. You already know, Erica. That was our motto. Like, no new friends. But then I began to meet people, man, and I began to meet some amazing people. And I start to realize the new people don't deserve how I'm treating them because of the old people. No, I'm telling you, like, when you start to break this thing down, it's really simple when it comes to healing and being whole and being healthy. So I begin to say, wait, y'all don't deserve my anger. Y'all don't deserve my bitterness. Y'all don't deserve me to not open up. Man, y'all don't deserve, because y'all not getting the full me. Y'all not getting the real me because I'm reserved, because I'm afraid and I'm scared of you're going to hurt me like somebody else hurt me. And it's not, you can go, why do you think people who have long-term relationships, friendships, relationships, marriages, and they get out of them, they get out of relationships and then they never move on? Because we don't unpack the hurt. We don't unpack the trauma. We don't unpack the pain that it caused. And it's easier to put up a fence and a shield than it is to walk through it. So once I begin to walk through it, and this is something that I'm still realizing, like, okay, like, yeah, like, they deserve me because I deserve good friends. I deserve good people in my life, right? You deserve good things to happen to you. But if we're always, if we always have the baggage from our last trip still in our suitcase, we don't have room for nothing else. All right, let's move on because we about to bounce. Feel like I'm in church. You know what I'm saying? I'm in church. We about to bounce. So I talking about how if I don't create healthy habits, how it will eventually affect Avery or generations to come behind her. So there's a story in the Bible where, there's a story in the Bible where God gave King Saul some specific instructions on what to do, right? I'm gonna come to these comments because these are some good comments. I want to get through this point and I'm gonna hit these comments. There's a story in the Bible where God told King Saul to do a few things. And basically told him, like, hey man, I need you to go through, and God was different in the Old Testament. I'm gonna just put it like that. He was different. You know what I'm saying? It was different. He was different, But he told King Saul, hey, go do X, Y, and Z. I need you to go take care of this, right? King Saul didn't take care of it the way that God necessarily wanted him to take care of it. And so what happened was that because King Saul didn't take care of it, down the line, David started fighting battles that he shouldn't have been fighting because they should have been taken care of generations before him. Y'all follow me? So if I don't deal with the Goliaths in my life, those Goliaths, are eventually going to show themselves at some point. If I'm telling you, we have to deal with the things in our lives. Because I don't subscribe to generational curses because I'm not cursed. My family's not cursed. My bloodline's not cursed. But I do subscribe to generational cycles. So if I don't take care of the unresolved things in my life, I know that they can become patterns for the next generation to come. So I need to unpack it, because if I don't unpack that suitcase when I get to the airport and I open it up, bro, why you got a Speedo in here? You ain't going to the beach or to a pool. You're going to a place where it's cold. You need a first down. You need a triple fat goose, and you got a Speedo in your suitcase. That is going to affect me when it's time for me to move forward, right? So if you deal with the things in your life, if you didn't, and again, this is just on a scale of your own personal life. If you deal with those things, I truly believe that God will help to put you in a position to where now your generations that follow you won't have to deal with the things that you went through. They won't have to go through the things that you've gone through, because you've conquered your giants. You've slayed your Goliaths, right? You've dealt with those. There are generational battles that we're still fighting due to systemic things in our lives. And so we're daily trying to overcome those things. But there are personal battles that I know that I want to model what it means to be a good friend, a healthy friend, to have healthy relationships. But if Avery only hears me and Randy talking about, oh man, we ain't got no friends, I ain't got no friends, blah, 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 blah. At some point, that's going to create a narrative in her mind that she doesn't need friends and that people are bad and she doesn't need friends. And so now I've created a cycle that isolates her from people who could potentially help her and add value to her life. But because we're isolated on the island, right? Because we've isolated ourselves, we've created this wall that's impenetrable that nobody can get in. We've created this new norm in our lives. Now that begins to become the norm for Avery. And then when she gets married, she's going to create that same type of norm for her family. And then when she has kids, her family is going to see that. So you see what I'm saying? It's going to create a cycle of we don't need people. I don't want that for her. I want her to understand that people are valuable. Relationships are amazing. They add value to your life. So, and I hope y'all catching what I'm throwing. Let's look at some of these comments. Would you say you're preaching good? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I need to collect the offering. No, I'm just joking. Especially when your circle doesn't look like how you thought it would. You miss out. Woo! That is so wild that you say that, because when you're used to a certain type of person or a certain type of people or a certain type of friend group, when you start to go outside that friend group and it doesn't look like what it has been, you think that it ain't right. I told y'all I didn't know what freedom looked like in my life because I just feel like I was never free. I just feel like I was never fully free. I just feel like I never knew the real version of me being free, being whole, being healed, being healthy. So I looked for people who kind of mimicked what the type of friends or the type of relationships that I had before. And so because of that, I feel like I was shortchanging myself from good people, as Janae just said. I was shortchanging myself from good people because they didn't look like what I had, what I was used to. But again, we're talking about unpacking our bags. So if I was never able to unpack the bag of hurt, anger, bitterness, I wouldn't be able to receive new love, new friendships. Come on. I wouldn't be able to receive new impartation because I want people in my life that add value, and I want to make sure that I'm adding value to them. Right? That's 11:40. We about to bounce. Let's get ready to bounce. We about to bounce. But yeah. So I hope that we're catching that we're catching this. That again, y'all know me. I'm gonna use the Bible. I'm gonna find stories that have applied to me. And then I'm gonna bring them to you guys, to our community, because I feel like they add value. Even though we're using, my standpoint, my even though the launching pad has been, church issues and things that we deal with in church. But it just stems far beyond that because we live our lives outside of just the church realm. But whatever you're used to and whatever you do, you kind of frame your world around that, right? So yeah, like allow this to find areas in your life where you need to unpack some stuff. And I want to encourage you. If you're gonna do the work, like really do the work. Like, there are resources out there. I encourage everybody to at least book a couple sessions and find a therapist, like really find somebody that you can talk to I ain't no professional. I ain't no therapist. So I don't, I don't know. I'm not a therapist. So I can't give you like the this is the cognitive thing. I can't do all that. But my goal is to jumpstart healthy habits. My goal is to help us all continue healthy habits and to jumpstart and to get our boots on the ground. I got my boots on the ground. I should throw an auto-tune because I know that sounded terrible. But to jumpstart healthy habits and to jumpstart us into finding things that help us cope and help finding things that help us deal with the traumas and finding things that help us to really unpack our bags. And sometimes just the simple work of journaling starts your journey. Like, you ain't got to just go all out at first, but just be willing to start. Just be willing to take those steps to start. So yeah, I want to encourage you. Listen, maybe your bags are still packed. I feel like I'm at church. I told you I'm a preacher. The one thing I know how to do is preach. That's when we about to have an altar call. If it's one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna preach. But all jokes aside, like seriously, I really just want to leave you with some encouragement, right? Because that's the whole goal. It's not just to get on here and tell our business and just talk about traumas. It's about what do we do next? What are our next steps? So I want to encourage you, right, that if you feel like your bags are still packed, like don't even book the trip until you unpack your suitcase so you understand what you have in that mug. Don't get on Expedia and Google Flights, try to find you a flight. Don't do that yet. Don't do that yet. First, take the time to say, you know what? I'm dealing with this one day at a time, one step at a time, right? Maybe you're carrying your bag. Maybe it's still packed. Just opening up your suitcase is the first step. Some of us might close it back like, dang, I don't want to deal with that today. All right, cool. If you're overwhelmed, you can't deal with it today, that's fine. But open it up every day. Take a look at it because eventually you're going to have to address it. So start opening up your suitcase and start seeing what's in there. If you're hiding behind a mask, if you're hiding in your baggage, come on, come out the baggage. Stop hiding. At least stop hiding from yourself. Start there. Open up your suitcase and say, what's in here? Okay, I know I got anger. I got bitterness. I got frustration. I got anxiety. These are some of the things. I got grief. Come on. I deal with grief. Come on. These are some of the things that are still in my bag. Let me figure out where I can start because you can't tackle it all at the same time. To be honest with you, you're going to be overwhelmed. So take it one day at a time. Just take a look at your bag. Just if you haven't opened your bag up, I want to encourage you just to open your bag up. Just open it and see what's in there. Maybe you carrying somebody else's stuff. Hey, drop that like a bad habit. Like, don't allow somebody to give you at the airport. What do they tell you at the airport? If you see a bag that's unmanned or whatever the word is, I can't think of the name. If you see a bag that's unattended, please do not touch the bag. Call airport security. That's my airport voice. So if somebody handed you their bag, if somebody left you a bag to hold, if you see a bag that's unattended, come on, that ain't yours to carry. It's not yours to carry. It's not your job to carry the weight of the world. So don't allow people to give you their stuff. Yes, be sympathetic, have empathy. Yes, I'm telling you, grief is a whole nother level. And we all grieve and we deal with it in so many different ways. But yeah, just it's one day at a time. I will never again in my life tell somebody to just get over it. I will never bypass what anybody's going. I will never in my life ever again tell somebody just get over it. Just you'll be okay. Just deal with it. Because I don't even know what you're going through. I can't even imagine. And I'm not when I say you're meaning in general, I don't even know what a person is going through. But for me just to say get over it, what? No. Give them encouragement. If you ain't got nothing to say, sometimes people just want you to sit there and listen. Sometimes just, hey, I love you. I love you. So if that's all you can say to somebody, I love you. You know what? I can't imagine what you're going through, but I'm sorry you're going through that, and I'm here with you. I'm praying for you. I'm whatever it is, like whatever it is that you got to tell, whatever it is that you have to say, and not just whatever, but mean it. Like, you know, sometimes just like, man, I'm sorry you have to deal with that. What we say, let's look at never because of work like that. Let's see. Sometimes we are experiencing multiple grieving process. Man, woo, my boy Suge is on here. Yes, sir. You are absolutely right. And I'm telling you, there was a time in my life, I'm about to bounce. There was a time in my life where I would just go pray, go ask God to take care of that. And it's like, bro, I done prayed. I prayed. I've been praying. I'm praying. I'm speaking in tongues. I'm crying. I'm snotting. I'm giving it to God. And I still feel the weight of it. The reality is, once you give it to God, you've given it to him. Right? Like I've given you my sorrows. I'm casting my cares upon you. But even though I've casted it upon you, it doesn't negate the fact of the trauma that is caused, of the hurt, the pain, whatever it is. So where we lack empathy is for people who are still dealing with the effects of what they've gone through. And we just say, get over it. And we just say, oh, God is going to heal you. Yes, God is going to heal me. I know that I'm healed. I believe that I'm healed. But the reality is that I still live in a body that has to process emotion. We done. I still live in a body that has to process grief, that processes pain, that processes all these things that I'm dealing with. And as much as I've given to God, my physical body still feels the ailments of whatever it is I've experienced. And so that's where we as people have to be more empathetic, more sympathetic. Man, Suge is on here. I don't know if he's still on here, but I've been a part of this group called the Faith Community. And man, it's like changed my life. It's really changed my life. Y'all hear me talk about like lived experiences and you know, loving yourself as, you know, loving your neighbor as God loves yourself. You know, for a very long time, there were things in life that I just didn't necessarily agree with. And I'm like, man, you know, if you want to be if that's the path that you choose for your life, like that's your path. I don't have to necessarily agree with you, but I'm going to love you, right? I'm going to learn to love you. But I'm saying that because I've been a part of this community, and it's really been helping me to understand that just because my lived experience was one thing, it doesn't have any more value or it's no higher than anybody else's. And so I'm learning to value everybody's lived experience, that I'm learning to value what you've been through. I'm learning to honor what you've gone through, because what you've gone through is real for you. It may not be, listen, I will never give birth to a child. And we closing, we out. I will never, it's physically impossible for me to have a baby. I will never have a baby. I will never go through childbirth. I will never go through 9 months of carrying a child. Shout out to the women on here who have done it multiple times. I love you. I thank God for you. You are amazing creatures. I will never do that. It's physically impossible, number one. And I probably don't think I could go through with it. But I love, man, being there for the birth of my child, an experience I'll never forget. But also understanding that just because I did not give birth doesn't mean that it didn't happen, right? That is a lived experience that women experience, childbirth. But because a man has never experienced childbirth does not negate the fact that it ain't real, because it's real and we see it. So because I didn't experience it, it don't mean that it didn't hurt. It don't mean that it doesn't have, it doesn't affect the body. It doesn't affect their minds. It doesn't affect their souls or spirits, right? So what am I saying? Learn to value people's lived experiences. And that's what this community has been helping me do, to learn to value what people go through. And just because you didn't go through it, it doesn't mean that it didn't affect them. Yeah, it didn't affect you because you didn't go through with that thing, but they went through with it, so it affected them. So learn to value people, learn to love people, learn to respect and honor people. That's all I'm saying. So don't pick up nobody else's bag. Unpack your bag. Just if you can't unpack it, at least open it. At least take a look at it, right? But either way, I just believe that God has given you, he's given me, he's giving and has given us the grace to overcome. I truly believe that. And your process is different from mine, just as mine is different from yours. But one thing I know is that we're in this thing together, and that we're walking this thing out together. And that if we have love for one another, it makes it so much easier. So God will sustain you. God's going to keep you. God loves us all. He loves you just as he loves me. And man, respect one another's lived experience. That's what I can say. Like, it's real. It's real. Like, life happens, and we all deal with things, and we all go through things. And sometimes when we're going through something, it's like we're so far in it that we just ignore the rest of the world, and it's like our struggle is like at the top of the list, and nobody else's struggle is like yours. And I get it. I understand it. I've been there. I share with y'all, like, there was a time where I just wasn't answering the phone. People thought I was acting funny. People thought I was acting strange. They thought I was acting brand new. I'm like, man, it ain't even got nothing to do with you. Like, I just can't. I don't have anything to give y'all. I don't have anything to give you. And if I answer this phone, if we talk, man, I'm probably say something that ain't got nothing to do with you, but I'm gonna offend you in a way that I don't want to offend you. So I just need to be by myself for a minute. And that, man, that's perfectly okay. I'm learning to understand that when people say they're going through something, hey, if you need me, let me know. I'm here for you. If you want to talk, call me. Hey, you good? All right, cool. Outside of that, I ain't gonna press them, because I've learned that in my own life, when I'm ready to talk, I'm gonna talk. When I'm ready to be bothered, I'm gonna be bothered. When I'm ready to open up, I'm gonna open up. But that doesn't mean that it's funny style or somebody's just acting brand new. It's like, no, like, we're all walking through this faith journey together. We're all walking through something. Let's just learn to honor one another. So with that being said, I want us to understand this. My past will never define me. Like, I feel like we in church. I'm about to bounce. Number one, my past will never define me. But if I don't confront it, it has the ability to delay me. My past, what I've been through, the things that I've experienced, the things that I've experienced, they do not define who I am. They may help to contribute to the person I've becoming, but they don't define who God created me to be. They don't make or break me. My past does not take away or add to who God has called me to be. My past is just that. It's my past. It is a chapter in my story. But if I don't deal with my past, if I don't deal with things that I've gone through, it can have the ability to delay my future, meaning that it can keep me stuck. Ain't nobody else gonna delay my future. If my future is delayed, it's on me. Meaning that my past, if I don't deal with certain things, certain traumas, certain things that I've gone through, come on, it has the ability to hinder me from moving forward, which can impact my future, right? Understand this. One of my favorites, one of the things I always say, you are not required to return to the spaces that hurt you. You are not required to return to the spaces that hurt you. If I don't confront what I've gone through, if I don't confront it, it has the ability, and it can, and I'm not going to say that it will, but there is a very strong possibility that it can and will delay me from walking into all that God has for me, from walking into being whole, held, and healthy. Listen, understand this. Healing is a choice. You choose to heal. I choose to unpack the weight. I choose peace. Come on. I want y'all to say this stuff and go back and listen to it, because we closing. I choose peace. I will not leave Goliaths for the next generation to fight. I won't do it. I won't leave Goliaths for the next generation to fight. Come on. And understand this. I will never. I'm about to. I will never return to spaces that hurt me. People, person, places, or things. I will never return to those spaces. And if I do choose to, I won't be the same, and you won't treat me how you treated me. And I won't stand for what I stood for before. So this is it. This is the last thing. Understand, my past will not define me. But I do understand that if I don't start to unpack my bag, that my things that are in my bag, they can delay me. Right? If I don't unpack my bag, things can delay me. And understand this. I'm not going to be delayed anymore. I don't want to be delayed anymore. I choose to heal. You choose healing. You make a choice. I choose to unpack the weight. I choose peace. I will not leave Goliath for this next generation to fight. Avery not going to come into debt because of me. Now, if Avery go off at 18, 19, 20, and she choose to get a credit card, we gonna deal with that. But I refuse to let my child start her life in debt because of me. And debt is something that I talk about because that's something that I'm working through. I have poor spending habits, and I'm not afraid to say it. Don't get it twisted like we just out here just going crazy. No, that ain't the case. But I've picked up some bad habits along the way, and I'm working very, very hard to rectify, and we're very, very close. So praise God. But she's not going to have to fight that Goliath. She's not going to have to fight the Goliath of anger, bitterness, all those things. And I won't return to spaces that hurt me. So, man, I love y'all. If this episode has added value to you, share it. If you feel like there's somebody who needs it, share it. I know we were on here a little long, but that's all right. You know what I'm saying? We family. It's like the church. The church tell you you're gonna be here for an hour and a half, and you're there for 3 hours, man. I told you I'm a preacher. That's what I do. So listen, share this. Listen, share it with somebody who's been struggling to move forward. I'm looking off to the side because I got some notes. I told y'all I'm trying to ramp it up. I'm trying to ramp this thing up. Share this with somebody who you feel has been struggling to move forward, right? Share it with somebody. Also, it's a couple things I want you to do. So share it, tag somebody, share it, send it to them. Yes, I love you, Janae. I love. I'm gonna text you too because I gotta share the family reunion info with you. Y'all disregard that. I gotta share that with her, not y'all. Y'all my family, but y'all ain't coming to the reunion. I'm just joking. But anyway, share this episode. Hey, listen, follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and not Twitter, but TikTok. I'm about to get active on TikTok. All right. And there's something special that I'm gonna be doing really soon, within the next couple weeks. We're going we're thank you for sharing it. Thank you. We're about to go celebrate 11 years of marriage this weekend. So shout out to me, shout out to Randy. Be coming up on 11 years of marriage. And I just feel like we are about to enter into the best years of our life because we've both been putting in the work. And man, I'm just so thankful and I'm so grateful for her. Man, I ain't about to get on here and, start crying and stuff, man. But, we've overcome so much. We've dealt with so much and overcome so much, man. And I'm just thankful to God, how he has just kept us, sustained our family, has been there for us. And man, that's my baby, man. I love her with my whole heart. And I'm just so thankful and grateful to have her in my life. Like I know I'm all that. She got me. Oh man, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, Erica, for sharing. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. But yeah, so we're about to hit 11 years this weekend. And I'm excited. So we about to go. We usually go we do a trip every year. We'll try to do a trip every year. This year we're going just a quick trip to New York over the weekend. So it's kind of ironic that I talked about baggage and I'm about to go on the trip because I got to go start getting ready. Got to go wash my clothes, all that stuff. So man, I love y'all and I'm excited about this next chapter in our lives because I just feel like we're about to walk into the best that God has for us. So man, wish us happy anniversary. It's on the 14th, which is in a couple days. Random. That's hilarious because it kept changing her name to Random whenever my cousin Janae would tag her in something. But anyway, so we're going to New York. We're going to New York. We about to go do it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We whole, healed, and healthy, and we gonna show it. Anyway, she gonna kill me because she hate when I do stuff like that. I'd be so cringy, and she be like, "Why are you doing that?" But anyway, man, I love y'all. I'm out. We've been on here. It's 12 o'clock. I got to get ready to go to work. But I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. If you don't want to watch the replay, you can catch the audio tomorrow. It'll be up on my podcast. The link is in the description. And it'll be up tomorrow if you want to go back and listen to it again. So you don't want to have to sit through Facebook. I have it on all podcast platforms. I've been keeping my podcast, the audio unedited, raw, just how it is because I like it like that. But I love y'all. Happy anniversary to us. I love you guys. Do something for yourself this week. Hopefully y'all come back next Wednesday with some stories. But if we don't see me next Wednesday, it will be the following, just depending on how we feel when we get back, because I got to go right back to work when I get back. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in, for rocking with me always. I love y'all. Be whole, be healed, be healthy. Until next time, I love you. Peace.